Henry, tell our viewers exactly where we're located here in Alabama.
We're exactly in the very center of Alabama. The marker is in the city of Montevallo, and we're proud of that fact.
And we're here where the Coal Mine Museum is. Tell us about mining coal in Alabama in this section.
Okay, the coal industry began in our area here in the Montevallo area, and I believe that was about the 1830s, and it came from that. And coal openings happened all over the place. There's so many pits, and all of them had different names. Some of them were foreign names. But anyway, Mr. Brown, I think his first name is William, bought all those up and put it into one big coal mine. And the biggest coal mine, the first big coal mine in Alabama, was here, and it's in 1859.
And we're in Montevallo.
Yes. They named it Alabama Coal Mine Company.
Okay, now we hear the name Aldrich. Now, where does that come in as far as coal?
Okay, the Aldriches were from New York State, and Truman Aldrich came to Alabama, to Selma, to start a bank. And while he was there, he heard of the famous Montevallo coal. And by the way, Montevallo seam was the first trade name for anything anywhere that I know of, but anyway, it's Montevallo coal. He heard of the famous Montevallo coal, and he came up to Montevallo from Selma to see this coal mine, and he liked it, and he bought it. So a little bit later, William Farrington Aldrich, his brother, came to join his brother in the venture. So they operated the coal mine for a few years, or a few months rather, and Truman Aldrich wanted to go do something else, so he sold his interest to William Farrington Aldrich.
Well, now we're actually right next to the museum, the Coal Mine Museum, but we're right where they were digging up this coal.
That's correct. The first big coal mine was about 3 or 4 miles from here. But then Mr. Aldrich, William Farrington Aldrich, opened a coal mine real close to here. It's about 2 blocks up that way. He operated the mines over 30 years. He's the one that built the town. He built the houses. He built 2 schools, one for whites, one for blacks. He built 2 churches, one for whites, one for blacks. And one of the churches is still standing, but the other one burned in the 30s. He built all the camp houses. He built a palatial home here. It was a big Victorian house, and it had way over 30 rooms in it. It's a big, beautiful place. This whole town was his garden. He required houses to be painted once a year. He required flower plots in the yards. He had a model village. He had a great company. He didn't allow alcohol on his property. If a miner was caught drinking or drunk, they would be dismissed and had to move on. He decided to build a private office, library, and recreation center, and he named it Farrington Hall. It was completed in 1908, and we're planning on a 100th birthday next year, and we're trying our best now to get it back to like it was, but we'll never get that it that good.
So what happened to the coal? Well, how did the industry just go?
In 1942, the war was going on, and Mr. Thomas, the then owner, decided that the coal couldn't be mined economically, so he decided to close it down, and he closed it down July the 5th of 1942.
Do we still have holes around here?
Oh yeah,
they'll be here all forever.
The mine is still up there. The fan house is still there where they took care of the ventilation. The where they store dynamite is still there, the building there, and then the bathhouse is still here. It was built in 1928. Wow. Anyway, the mine is right up here, and we blazed trails through there so I can take people up to see it, but it's really interesting.
During the time that the mine was at its peak, about how many people would be employed here?
At one time, an article that I have said there were 600, not employees, the total population of the town. Yeah.
Is that the town of Montevallo?
No, just Aldrich.
Just Aldrich. That would have been his town.
Right, and it spoke of the economic impact that these people had on the city of Montevallo.
Mm-hmm. It must have been a rough time for, and you've written a book on this, have you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In your book, what do you cover?
Mainly the history of the town, mm-hmm. And I have some. Mr. Aldrich was a 3-term congressman. He served 3 terms in the House of Representatives and spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. And that makes that building that much more famous to me, right. You know. And I hope to get other people interested in it. But
it's dangerous mining coal.
Well, it is. Sure.
I mean, you're going down into the earth to get it and bring it out.
It is dangerous. The biggest danger is the rock slides mm-hmm. falling, mm-hmm. And I guess gas is right up next to it because it's equally as dangerous. Right. And then water streams go through the earth, and if they break into a water stream, the water in the early days, would fill up the mine quickly, especially the slope mine and the shaft mine. Nowadays, they have pumps and pipes and all that to draw the water out.
Right, right.
Then there's another one, cables breaking on the cars. That if somebody's close to there, they would get killed, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Is there still a lot of coal down there?
There's coal still in Shelby County because coal trucks go by here constantly and loaded down with coal, and it's not far from here. It's about 4 miles out to a little community called Pea Ridge, right. And then further on out they had some strip mining.
I see.
And
I see. So what are we going to see inside the museum? What have you tried to represent?
We have tons of pictures. I'm gonna say this: Santa Claus brought me a camera when I was about 12. I'm 71 now. Brought me a camera, and I went around this camp and made pictures of the houses, the churches, the stores, the mines, and not as many people as I wanted, but I'm beginning to get some of the people, coal miners, and kept them all these years. And all of a sudden, this building fell into our hands, and we bought it. And my wife suggested, "Why don't you put your pictures on the wall? And when people come to the house to see them, we say, well, let's go down to the building and I'll show them to you." So we have Montevallo pictures galore. We have a local Black History room. We have a family room where we have all of our people.
Descendants.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And collections. We have 2 rooms full of bottles and old things, that
have come from that time.
Yeah, that people like. People like it.
When are you open, or how, if someone is interested in coming out to the Coal Mine Museum, how do they get in touch with you?
Okay, they usually call us to set up appointments, but we're open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 until 4 o'clock, or any time by appointment, and then we're open on Sunday from 1 to 4.
And how do they get in touch with you by phone? What is your number?
665-2886.
And that's area code 205?
Yes, sir.
Henry, thank you very much for the insight, and we hope that the plans that you have in your mind can maybe be come out in frugality.
I sure hope so.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.